August 26, 2025, 4:30 a.m., Jefferson, Georgia. A father is asleep 3 houses down. A college student is dreaming in Athens, 8 miles away. And in between them, behind a white picket fence and neatly trimmed hedges, sits $1.2 billion in cartel cash, a military grenade launcher, and enough fentanyl to kill every person in Atlanta. Twice. Nobody knew. Nobody suspected, until the flashbang detonated. Boom! The shockwave rolls across the street like thunder. Red and blue strobes explode across bedroom windows. Armored vehicles block both exits, and federal agents in full tactical gear are screaming one phrase that changes everything. FBI, get out, now! This isn't Mexico. This isn't the border. This is Georgia, and the most dangerous cartel in North America just built a fortress in your backyard. What happens next will redefine everything you thought you knew about drug trafficking in America. But before we go inside that house, you need to understand how long they'd been watching and what they found when the door finally came down. Let me take you back, June 20th, 2025, 2 months before the raid. It's a normal Thursday afternoon at the Walmart on Epps Bridge Parkway in Athens. Families shopping, kids grabbing snacks. And in the parking lot, 2 people slumped unconscious in a vehicle. Deputies approach, standard welfare check, until they see the Glock on the center console, until the phone on the passenger seat starts lighting up, message after message, photo after photo. Bricks of cocaine, stacks of $100 bills, addresses, names, a digital roadmap of an entire cartel network. That phone? It was the crack in the armor. Within 48 hours, FBI analysts in Atlanta were pulling metadata, tracing contacts, and mapping a sprawling operation that stretched from Mexico City to Athens, Georgia. What they found made their blood run cold. This wasn't a local gang. This was a fortress. And the man running it had been invisible for 5 years. Quick question, have you ever lived next to someone and later found out they were involved in something terrible? Drop a comment, I want to hear your stories. His name is Eliseo Yanez Pineda, street name Cochito, 48 years old, Mexican national, former convict. But here's what makes him different from every other cartel operative you've heard about. Cochito didn't hide, he lived in the open. Rented normal homes, drove a normal car, waved at neighbors, mowed the lawn on Saturdays. Federal investigators believe he arrived in Georgia around 2020, right as the pandemic was reshaping drug markets across America. Bars closed, clubs shut down, but demand for cocaine, meth, and fentanyl, it exploded. Cochito saw the opportunity, and he built something unprecedented, a fully operational cartel command post disguised as suburban family life. Tire shops that never sold tires, cafes that never served coffee, real estate offices funneling hundreds of thousands in cash every single week. And beneath it all, ledgers tracking transactions that investigators would later estimate at over $1.2 billion moving through Georgia in just 5 years. But the most disturbing part? The weapons. Here's where this story stops being about drugs and starts being about war. August 26th, the raids begin. 12 locations hit simultaneously: Athens, Atlanta, Jefferson. FBI tactical teams breach doors within seconds of each other, and what they find inside isn't just a stash house, it's an armory. 26 firearms total, 12 rifles, 14 handguns, AR-style weapons, high-capacity magazines, modified grips, ammunition stacked in military-style crates, encrypted phones buzzing with incoming messages from Mexico, frantic, desperate, trying to warn the others. And then, the grenade launcher. Not a movie prop, not a deactivated relic. A functioning M203 grenade launcher, 40mm, military grade, designed to fire high-explosive rounds. The kind of weapon that turns a residential street into a kill zone in 3 seconds. One agent later said, "One pull of that trigger." So here's my question for you. Why would a drug network in suburban Georgia need a grenade launcher? Protection? Intimidation? Or were they preparing for something worse? Comment below. What do you think? The haul, what $1.2 billion looks like. Let's talk about what else was inside. 26 kilograms of cocaine, pure, uncut, street value approaching $800,000. 1.7 kilograms of fentanyl, enough to produce over 850,000 lethal doses, enough to wipe out a mid-sized American city. 500 grams of methamphetamine, crystal, high purity, ready for distribution. $63,532 in cash, and that's just what they found that morning. Ledgers seized from another location showed weekly cash flows exceeding $900,000. But here's the piece most people miss: the gold. Investigators tracking Cochito's financial network discovered something extraordinary. The cartel wasn't just laundering money through fake businesses. They were converting it into gold bullion, 3 tons of it, and shipping it across continents. Gold doesn't trigger bank alerts, it doesn't require currency declarations, and it's worth the same in Mexico City, Shanghai, or Dubai. This wasn't a drug ring, it was a transnational financial empire operating from a college town in Georgia, and federal agents had been watching every move. Here's what most people don't understand about federal drug cases. They don't start with the raid, they end with it. For nearly 2 years, FBI wiretaps had been recording every call. DEA surveillance teams had been photographing every courier. Financial analysts had been tracking every wire transfer, every cash deposit, every suspicious business transaction. They knew about the tire shop that pushed $980,000 in cash each week, but hadn't sold a single tire in 2 years. They knew about the Athens addresses on Sartain Drive and Essex Court. They knew Cochito's daily routines, his contact networks, his supply chains from Culiacan, Mexico. But they waited. Because taking down one person doesn't stop a cartel. You need everyone. The suppliers, the distributors, the enforcers, the money handlers. So they built the case, layer by layer, name by name, transaction by transaction, until August 26th, when they finally had enough evidence to collapse the entire structure at once. 13 agencies, 12 warrants, 1 synchronized strike. And when those flashbangs detonated at 4:30 a.m., the cartel had 0 warning. All right, I need to pause here for a second. If you're getting value from this breakdown, if you want to see more deep dives into operations like this that mainstream media won't cover, hit that subscribe button right now. I'm pushing to reach 1,000 subscribers before the year ends, and every single one of you watching this makes that possible. It takes 2 seconds, it's completely free, and it helps me keep bringing you this content. Thank you. Now let's get back to what happened when those doors came down. 4:31 a.m., the first door splinters. FBI, hands up, get out now! Inside the Jefferson house, agents find Cochito in the hallway, hands raised, eyes wide. He doesn't resist, he doesn't run. He just stares as tactical operators flood the house, clearing room by room. In the kitchen, plastic-wrapped bricks of cocaine covering the table like a buffet. In the bedroom, duffel bags stuffed with cash, rubber-banded in $10,000 stacks. In the garage, the grenade launcher, wedged beneath a workbench next to blueprints mapping narcotics routes from Sinaloa to Georgia. But it's what's on the walls that stops everyone cold. Pinned notes written in cipher, payment codes, anonymous phone numbers, the cold, hard accounting of a transnational empire. And in the corner, a whiteboard with 3 words scrawled in Spanish: Fase 3 lista. Phase 3 ready. They weren't shutting down, they were expanding. Across Athens, other teams are hitting the remaining locations. One house yields ledgers showing $900,000 in weekly transactions. Another has burner phones still buzzing with incoming calls from Mexico. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Estás bien? What happened? Are you okay? Nobody answers. Because by 5:15 a.m., all 13 suspects on American soil are in custody. 17 total defendants charged. The network is severed. But the war? It's just beginning. The neighborhood, living next to danger. Imagine this. You're a parent in Jefferson, Georgia. Your kids play in the front yard. You wave to your neighbors every morning. Life is quiet, safe, normal. Until you wake up to armored vehicles blocking your street. Until you see federal agents in tactical gear dragging your neighbor out in handcuffs. until you realize the friendly guy who helped you carry groceries last month was running a cartel operation with a grenade launcher under his workbench. That's what happened here. Local parents flooded the University of Georgia hotline, terrified. Are our kids safe? Was this happening near campus? Radio stations replayed the numbers. 26 firearms, $1.20 billion in estimated transactions, enough fentanyl to kill 850,000 people. One neighbor told reporters he seemed so normal. He had barbecues. He asked about my kids. And the whole time, this is the modern cartel strategy. Don't hide in the shadows. Hide in plain sight. Blend in. Be polite. Be forgettable. And underneath it all, operate a machine designed to poison American streets. Here's what I want to know. If you discovered your neighbor was involved in something like this, would you have suspected it? What signs would you look for? Comment and let me know. Here's what changes everything. This wasn't a standalone bust. Operation Take Back America is a nationwide DOJ initiative targeting cartel infiltration across multiple states. Within months of the Athens raid, federal agents executed another massive strike under the same operation, a 3,200-kilogram methamphetamine conversion lab in Monroe and Walton counties, Georgia. Different suspects, different locations, same playbook. And it's happening in Charlotte, Nashville, Birmingham, cities you'd never expect. Because the cartels learned a hard lesson at the border. Enforcement is too tight, so they moved the production inside America. They're renting warehouses, hiring local couriers, setting up conversion labs in rural areas where nobody asks questions. And they're doing it with terrifying efficiency. The FBI estimates that cartel-linked operations now exist in over 230 American cities, not border towns, cities, schools, neighborhoods, suburbs. This isn't about stopping drugs at the border anymore. It's about rooting out enemy infrastructure already embedded in American soil. All 17 defendants are facing federal charges: conspiracy to distribute, firearms violations, maintaining drug-involved premises. Maximum penalties? Life in prison. And unlike state court, federal sentencing is brutal. No parole, no early release. If you're convicted, you serve your time. Cochito's initial appearance was in U.S. Magistrate Court in Macon, Georgia. The evidence against him is overwhelming. The drugs, the guns, the ledgers, the encrypted phones. His attorneys will likely push for a plea deal because taking this to trial is suicide. But here's the disturbing part. During forensic analysis of seized laptops, investigators found encrypted messages referencing Phase 3. New routes, new suppliers, new couriers already being recruited in Mexico. The network is adapting. And even with Cochito behind bars, the cartel infrastructure isn't gone. It's just waiting. So let's bring this home. Was $1.2 billion in actual cash seized that morning? No. The DOJ documents show roughly $900,000 in drugs and cash recovered in the raids. But the $1.2 billion figure? That's the estimated total value of transactions this network facilitated over 5 years, based on ledgers, wiretaps, and financial forensics. Were there really 3 tons of gold? Not recovered in this specific raid, but financial tracking revealed gold bullion being used as a laundering mechanism across the broader network. The point is this: whether it's $900,000 or $1.2 billion, whether it's 12 firearms or 26, the truth remains the same. A Mexican cartel built a fully operational command post in the heart of Georgia. They armed themselves for war. They poisoned American streets. And they did it all while looking like your neighbors. That should terrify you, because if it happened in Athens and Jefferson, where else is it happening right now?
This is why I make these videos. Not for the clicks, not for the drama, but because someone needs to tell these stories the right way, with the real facts, the real stakes, and the real human cost. If you found value in this breakdown, do 2 things for me right now. 1. Hit subscribe. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers and keep this channel growing so I can bring you more stories like this. 2. Share this video. Send it to someone who needs to understand what's really happening in America, because the cartels rely on silence. They rely on people not knowing. Your awareness is the next line of defense. The Athens raid is over. Cochito is in custody. But the war for America's streets?
That fight continues every single day, and I'll be here breaking it down for you, one operation at a time. Stay sharp, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.